Hi everyone, I'm Asha, an Akashic Records reader, blogger, and podcaster. In this series, we will demystify the Akashic Records by bringing to you bite-sized contents on frequently asked questions relating to the Akashic Records. We will also explore topics relating to spirituality, as well as practical application, learnings, and reflections in the Akashic Records. My Akashic Masters are very excited to join us in this journey. We send much love, light, and blessings to all. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 3, Part 1 of an Akashic Light reading and healing session with Sarah. At the start, we checked in with Sarah's Akashic Masters to see if they have any general messages for her. This was what we received. Dearest sister, daughter, child of God, child of the universe, within the deepest depth of the soul lies the mysteries of the universe that you can unlock and access. Do not worry over the future, for the future will pan itself out in the right direction for you, step by step. Take each step, step by step, with trust and faith. With the guidance given in this session, may you find the light, clarity, peace, love, and hope you need. Sarah's first query. My first question is related to my future, about my marriage. My parents have been looking for the past few years. Either my parents rejected the boy's profile or the boy's family rejected my profile. So it keeps on going like this. Last month they got a profile which both families agreed. And even the engagement date was fixed. But at the last minute, my relatives stopped it, complaining about the boy's character. So now I'm literally scared and lost hope in my marriage. How long will this be delayed? And whether I will get a life partner with good character. They are sending me shivers down the spine. Let me just check what they are trying to tell me. Why are they sending me so much shivers down the spine? Sarah, there is hope. All is not lost. Believe in yourself that the universe is conspiring to bring the right guy for you. And therefore, we are here to remove the obstacles in front of you that are not suitable for you. The right match for you will be the right alignment for you at this moment, based on your current energies and what your higher soul has chosen for a union. So they want to remind that before you came into your mother's womb, your higher soul consciously chose your spouse. Your spouse's higher soul also chose you. With that agreement, each of you take on the respective family lines, where you grow up and seemingly appear as strangers in distant lands. So this is a soul union. This is not just a superficial matchmaking where we are trying to get both sides to agree. And it feels as if when they disagree, there's this fear of rejection, like we're unwanted. We feel a bit shameful and embarrassed that we are on that waiting line for so many years and there's no hope. But the Masters remind you that for your case, good things take time to come. You will rather wait for the right guy that your parents consciously and meticulously chose for you than to be in a haste, end up with the wrong guy, and regret for life. That's the advice for you. The guy that was rejected by a third party interfering. It was for your own good, and it was for your highest good. They say this marriage will not work out for you, even if both parties force it. It will lead to a lot of unhappiness and resentment on your part, because there will be this issue where you will feel unable to speak up for yourself, or even defend or protect yourself in this marriage. In this regard, they want to set your expectations in the sense that first, this is a soul union. Your marriage is a soul union in the sense that both higher souls consciously chose this union upon birth. So it is, in a sense, predestined. But in this case, it will be facilitated by both sides' parents to bring both of you in union together. Trust and have faith that things will work out for you. Second, good things will wait. You have to wait for the good things to come in your case. And in this regard, practice the patience. While waiting, try to find time to cultivate your energies. Maybe you can try a breathing meditation, walking in nature, picking up a dance, or maybe even try listening to Akashic Records meditation. Why they encourage you to do that? They want you to find things that make you feel peaceful or joyful within. Go and do the things that make you happy, so you will reach a point where you feel you are self-sufficient, so the waiting time no longer bothers you. Because you know at a deeper level, you want to present the best or better version of yourself to your future spouse, and also trust that in this waiting process, your future other half is also working on himself, so that the universe, at the right time, can bring both of you together. That will be a right match. Not just a right match, but it has to be right alignment. So it could be someone that is already there, still single and available, but somehow the path just cannot cross with you because the time is not right yet. There's no alignment. Spend the waiting time cultivating yourself. Try to find things that make you feel peaceful or joyful within. The masters say this is a quick formula for you to attract the right guy the fastest way. It is not about asking your parents, can you just finalize things and not go on forever and ever and ever? It is not really my fault as well. But to trust that there is a higher reason why they feel compelled or motivated to reject these people. At one level, they really want their daughter to be married. But on the other level, they can't bear to sacrifice their daughter for a less than ideal marriage. There is almost like a love-hate relationship that your parents have to deal with this situation now. But the masters say that have trust and faith. Don't worry about your future. The future will pan out well, so long as step by step you focus on feeling peaceful and joyful within during this waiting period. Anytime you notice, for example, as you wait, you feel like fear of rejection coming up. You feel shameful when you gather with relatives and they ask, "Why are you still not married?" Things that cause shame and embarrassment. Try to connect to yourself through things that help you to find your own center, no matter what other people say. So it could be, say, a breathing meditation. You can even try Akashic Records meditations. I have a lot of free ones. I can send you the link. You can pick whatever you feel guided to. You can even pick up dancing, singing, things that have movement, such as walking in nature, things that make you happy. So when you're happy, whatever other people say, you don't really get bothered. They can say all they want. Then you look at them, they're also not that happy, even though they're married. So there's no point rushing into a marriage. The masters want to advise you in this case, take things step by step. Do not worry over the future. The future will plan itself well for you. And the highest soul of both yourself and the spouse have consciously chose this soul union at birth. So trust and have faith in the universe that the right guy will be brought to you in right alignment. In right alignment, that means right timing and all the conditions that you are ready, he is ready, both families are ready. So then, when you finally meet this person that has all the approval by both sides, you will feel at ease. There is a certain sense of calmness. They want to encourage you to try to cultivate yourself, to find that peaceful, calm state within. So when your parents let you know that there is this right match that they have found, when you feel into your own body, you will find the same peace. That is your answer. The right guy has been found. But of course, they say that even when the right guy has been found, even if it is a soul union for your case, we need to moderate expectations. Because in reality, both parties have the good side and the bad side. So both sides will need to learn in the course of marriage how to appreciate and accept the good and the bad and come together in harmony. In terms of timeline, they actually don't want to suggest a timeline for you because they don't want you to feel fearful and pressured. Because, for example, if you know it is like 6 months to a year, then maybe there might be a few persons that show up during that period. Then it is very difficult because you might think, is it this one or that one? It becomes very confusing. So the masters say, let it flow. Focus on yourself. Find things that bring you peace and joy. And trust that your parents will bring the right match for you in right alignment. Sarah's second query. My next question is related to job. For the past years, I have been working in the IT industry, and recently I switched to another company. Even though the workload is heavy, I like the work and the project I'm currently working on. Can I go in the same path, or should I change my career? Or should I change to a new company? The masters are asking back a question. If you like the job, what are your reasons for not staying put? What are your reasons for changing? So, for example, they would advise that you write down what you like about this job and what you don't like about this job. That will give you clarity of mind because you have free will. It is not for them to say, Sarah, this job is not for your highest good. Quit and go to another job. They want to encourage you to make the best decision for yourself by yourself. So in this case, they want to suggest that if you like this job, then why are you even thinking about other options? Is there a disharmony between the mind and the heart? For example, the mind likes the challenging environment, the pace of work, the new nature of things here and there, new projects that challenge you, that make you feel you're growing. But then the other side, the mind also worries. As a woman, should I be working so hard? Next time when I get married, how am I going to manage this? How am I going to find work-life balance? Then they suggest for you to write down why you like this job, why you don't like this job, and then look at the list. Are these present concerns or future concerns? The present moment is all you need to be in. You don't need to look too far ahead. Right now, you like the challenging work nature, you're okay with the pay, you're okay with the environment, you're okay with the colleagues. But then, what you don't like? There are a lot of worries about the future. Are they the present? If it is the present, how intense is it in pushing you to get out of the job? Is there anything you can do for yourself to still stay in this job? The masters are saying that the workplace presents lessons for the soul. So there are two main areas where the soul really gets to grow and cultivate itself. One is at home with the family. The other is at the workplace. So at the workplace, there are certain lessons that are presented to you that form certain challenges that might end up as what you don't really like. Maybe it requires a lot of airtime, requires you to take the initiative, to speak up on certain things. You feel it is draining your energy. For example, with certain difficult people, why do we need to take a pause and consider how can we improve the situation? That is because if we don't master the lesson in this job, we will just end up attracting the similar situation in the next job somehow. So for example, in this job, if one of my greatest dislikes is a difficult boss, then maybe the lesson that is required is for us to stand up and speak up for ourselves, to take the initiative and not to be bullied. If we don't learn this, we apply for another job, we will somehow end up with another difficult boss. Why so unlucky? Why other people always get kind bosses? Whenever I shift, why always this difficult boss? That's because we haven't mastered the lesson in the job. It is not that the jobs are perpetual. That means, once you stick in this job, you must commit for life. They say this is not true. But when you leave, ask yourself the reasons why you want to leave. Do you feel stagnant in this job? You are not growing anymore. There's no room for you to grow yourself further. You feel you're wasting your time here. Things that make you feel as if your life is not worth living. These are strong considerations for you to want to change your job. But if it is, for example, you still like the job, there are certain worries about the future or certain issues with certain people, then they suggest that as you write it down, think of ways you can rectify for yourself. Ask yourself, what is the lesson that I need to learn in this difficult situation or with this difficult person? It might be courage, ability to speak up, stand up for yourself, protect yourself, don't be bullied, or it could also be asking for fair treatment. So things like that, step by step. Sarah shared that one reason she's deciding whether she should switch to a new company is the shift timings, which affects her habitual life. Like food timings are getting affected. Because this work time is not comfortable in case she's getting into a marriage. In your case, again, there is no hurry. Your concern is more of the future, but the future hasn't unfolded. You don't know who the spouse is. You don't know whether his work arrangement will match yours, whether you even need to switch the timing. So the masters say, sometimes we make a lot of assumptions into the future based on what the society's expectations have for married women. For married women, you must make sure the job is not so heavy workload, regular timings, so that you can take care of the spouse and the family. This may be untrue. The masters are saying this may be untrue because it depends on when you get to know your right match. So the spouse has to come in. Then after that, his lifestyle, his work arrangements. Then only at that point in time, then you need to consider, is this job still serving me? If it is not serving me, then at that point, you then look for alternatives. But right now, they're saying that this job seems to serve you, so there's no hurry. But at the same time, they want you to feel hopeful, to keep your options open. Even when you work at this job, the mindset is you try to work as if you're staying there long term. So you're still very committed, very ethical, very honest, doing your due work there. But at the same time, you want to feel hopeful. You don't want to feel stuck. So the masters suggest you also keep an eye out for options. Look at the job market. What's available? Just roughly know. Or even ask your peers in the IT industry. How are they doing? Catching up with them. You're working at this job? How's this job for you? Say irregular hours at this big company that everybody wants to go. How is it like? Ask this kind of questions. Because as you ask your peers, it will correct a lot of misconceptions within you. So then you avoid the pitfalls of even applying to the wrong job in the first place. In summary, Now there's no hurry for you to change jobs. But it doesn't mean you cannot think of a job change in future. So you can write down the reasons why you like this job, reasons why you don't like. See if you can identify higher lessons for yourself in this difficult situation or with this difficult colleague or even the work hours. Keep your options open, even at this point in time when you're not making a job switch. So that means try to connect with your peers in the IT industry in different companies. Try to approach them, try to understand how they're doing in their company. That will help you avoid the pitfalls of applying to the wrong job in the first place, so you don't end up jumping from one hellhole to another hellhole. When things are more settled for you, when you found your spouse, when both of you have discussed how the work arrangement should be like, only then with peace in your heart, you roughly know the options. You roughly know, based on your peers, what to avoid. So at that point in time, you look at what's there, and with peace in your heart, you go and you know the right match will come in. And they also say that finding a job is like finding a spouse. You need to be in right alignment. It is the same message for you, Sarah. Right now, you need to cultivate your energies. That's the central focus. It might seem a bit mysterious or difficult to understand, because it's like the problem you have is with other people, other external situation. Why do you ask me to focus on myself? They say that is the key, because as you cultivate yourself, you will develop that peace and joy in your heart. Together with it, you will develop that deep knowing, that feeling in the body. They remind that for females, we are very connected to our womb. Our womb actually gives us a lot of answers to life that we don't really need to think, but we can feel it in our womb. Whether things are safe or not, things are right or not, should I go or should I stay? So they want you to develop that wisdom in your own womb, in your own body. Then you will reach a point when you're thinking of whether you want to change a job or not, you can take that time off, feel into your own body, and let your own body give you the answer. When finally your parents inform you that both sides agree this is the match, and then you feel into your own body, that peace in your heart, that sense of stability in your body, that you're not feeling like, oh my God, who's this? Are we going to get along well? But you feel that peace is like, finally, like what masters say, good things take time. This is the good thing that has come. So that kind of feeling, they want you to cultivate it yourself. Then you will have your answers within yourself. It will be very useful. So try working on that. Stay tuned for episode 4, part 2 of the Akashic-like reading and healing session with Sarah in our next episode. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast. If you would like to read about my dialogues and reflections with the Akashic Masters, you can visit my free blog at Asha-AkashicRecords.com. Till next time, take care.